What up, what up, what up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to do a review of the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 2. I know I'm a day late. Sorry, guys. But, life be life, and try to get these reviews out as soon as I can. So, a day late, it is what it is. If you haven't seen Episode 2 of Season 9 of the Real Housewives of Potomac, then you should turn this video off and go watch it, and then come back and watch this review so you don't get any spoilers. I'm not a public speaker, so I will tend to fumble my words and say and so and like 1,000 times. I may stop to regain my thoughts. I may slow my speaking down to regain my thoughts. Anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. Of course, comment below what you thought of this episode and what you would grade it. If it's anything that I didn't talk about that you thought I should have, let me know in the comments. And yeah. I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. Sorry, see, I had to think about what I was gonna say. I'm gonna grade this week's episode This episode was just so funny. Anytime I can see Giselle pissed off, I like it. I don't care because I can't stand Giselle. But I'm gonna give it. I gotta put it in between like a B- and a C+. It didn't give. I mean, the premiere didn't even give. So this episode really didn't give. I mean, I don't know. Like, it was just like, okay. It was okay, yeah. But I'm going to put it in between a B- and a C+. But, of course, comment below if you thought it should be graded higher or lower, whatever the case may be. All that stuff. Yeah. So, we're going to get into it. Last Chance, The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 2. If you have not seen it, turn this video off because I'm about to spoil the entire episode, okay? So, the episode begins where we left off in the premiere episode where Giselle throws Karen this little attitude birthday party. And, they coming at Mia about her parenting, and Mia scurries off into the bathroom upset. So Jazzy and Jacqueline are in there consoling Mia. And Giselle continues on. I mean, Wendy does defend Mia. After Mia leaves the table, she's like, you shouldn't be coming at how people parent their children or whatever the case may be. Surprising, because 2 seasons ago, Wendy wouldn't give a doop-dop shit about Mia, But here she is at this table defending Mia because they're in a better place. So Giselle goes on with the hat. She's giving out these hats and she's giving them names to the ladies or whatever the case may be. So she gets to telling Wendy, our friendship is in a bucket right now, so I'm going to give you the bucket hat. And Wendy puts on the bucket hat. She starts rapping. I don't know if it's a show or if it's a rap group or it's a female rapper from back in the day or something. And nobody caught the because Wendy raps this little part. All the boys want to feel my breast. That's something that a rapper said before. And nobody caught that. So I was kind of irritated. I was like, oh my God, y'all don't know that's from, like somebody said that before. And Wendy like repeated it. That's not something she just made up off the fly. Like that came from something. Because I heard that before. It was on a movie or a rapper said it famously or something. I just don't remember where it's from. But nobody caught on to that, Wendy saying that. And then, Giselle's like, well, Wendy, I do want to have a one-on-one conversation with you tomorrow. Let's get together for lunch. And Wendy's like, she's like, okay, I'm open to that. So Mia does end up coming back to the table. And this is where Karen and Giselle apologize to Mia. And Mia's in her confessional like, this is just Karen deflecting. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. I mean, DUIs are serious. And this is Karen's second one. And we know when Karen's in something, she does try to deflect and take the attention away from it or not speak on it too much. So, yeah, I mean, Karen did kind of deflect. But I still love Karen. I mean, you can still love Karen and call out their wrong. So, yeah, Karen, you did deflect because they was asking you questions about you. And I get it. It's her birthday party. She don't want to be she don't want to be asked questions about her situation at her party. They're supposed to be celebrating her. So, I get it. But it's just like, yeah, y'all was geeked to get on Mia about her situation with Gordon and Ink. So immediately in the next scene, we get this lunch date between Giselle and Wendy. And when I tell you this shit was so awkward and so weird, like, I don't even know what this shit was this. What did they hope to give us by showing us, like, I didn't get nothing out of this lunch. Like, it fell so flat for me. They at lunch, Giselle starts by, mind you, Giselle did not apologize at this lunch at all. So I don't know I don't know what they thought we was going to get out of this. Like, it fell so flat. Like, nobody took accountability. Mostly Giselle. Giselle didn't take no accountability. We didn't talk about none of the things that you did that triggered us as viewers or triggered Wendy. Like, it was just so cringe to watch because it was like nothing was resolved in my eyes as a viewer watching. I was just like, Giselle didn't apologize for nothing. She just called out the things that made her feel a way about Wendy in the first place. It was just like, what? Like, are we serious? You started this whole debacle by going around and telling the ladies that you saw a blog about Eddie cheating on Wendy instead of going to Wendy as a woman and saying, hey, this is what I saw. But anyway, Giselle starts off by saying, Wendy gets mad and becomes very condescending. And she doesn't like that. And Wendy's like, it's unfair for you to try to police how someone responds. Basically, and Giselle, she basically saying, Giselle, you started this by, and they showed a clip of Ashley going to Wendy saying, Giselle saying stuff about Eddie sleeping with another woman, whatever the case may be. Like, yeah, you started this, and Wendy brings up the fact that, Giselle, when she's beefing with somebody, she tries to alienate them from the group. And we saw her try to do this with Wendy and Candace a lot last season before, whatever the case may be. She just does that. And then Giselle's just like, well, if I have an issue with you going forward, I'll just let you know. And I'm hoping that we don't have an issue going forward. It just felt so flat. Like, I feel like Wendy did not. Wendy let Giselle off easy. And I know, people, they edit stuff to make it seem, or whatever the case may be, but this whole conversation was just so lackluster for me. It didn't do nothing to make me feel better from the way Wendy was treated this whole time by Giselle. Like, I feel like Wendy should have gotten that ass, and I don't care how Giselle would have felt. It just felt so flat for me. Like, Giselle, we didn't hear Giselle say, I'm sorry, or I apologize for anything. We didn't hear Wendy say it either. And I'm not saying Wendy had to apologize for anything, because Wendy was treated the worst between these two. And then Giselle, you sitting right there telling people how they should feel. Like, that's crazy. When you did the most of the trauma, the triggering things to Wendy. I just couldn't believe this. I just couldn't believe this dinner. This lunch. I was like, I don't know what they thought we was gonna get out of this, because we didn't get nothing. Then they briefly talk about Karen's attitude party, and they throw a little shots at Mia's new dude about his height and whatever the case may be. And then at one point, Giselle's in her confessional like, I think me and Wendy could be besties now. And Wendy's like, I don't know about besties. I'm just like, where in this conversation do you think that you and Wendy are besties now, or could be besties now? You didn't take no accountability for the way you treated her, the meaning things you said about her. Like, I'm just so lost. So we get this moment at Stacy's home where she's she's telling us a little more about herself, and telling us a little more about her daughter. Her daughter's learning to speak German and Spanish because of the fact that she's half German. And she's talking about how her and her husband still live together in the same home, even though they're separated, but they don't sleep together. And how she has an apartment in D.C., and she likes to make sure that she's in D.C. when he's home with their daughter. And then when he's not home and he's out of town, she comes back to their home in Maryland, in Potomac. And she also talks about how the daughter doesn't know anything about the separation. So basically, y'all making it so y'all still living together, And when the daughter's around, y'all making it seem like y'all still together. Because she's like, we're not going to tell the daughter anything until things are finalized, till we know how custody is going to be arranged and living situations or whatever the case may be. And the fact that, and she says the fact that she knows that he's seeing someone else and he knows that she's seeing someone else. So we finally get my girl Kiana. I feel like she should have been in the first episode, especially since she's an actual cast member. But it is what it is. She drops by to see Karen, give her a birthday gift or whatever the case may be. She talks a little bit about her and her guy and how, they're moving in together. But, her mother wants them to get engaged first. And seemingly so does Karen. She's like, you need to be talking about getting that ring. So then Karen brings up her birthday attitude party. And this is where she finds out that Kiana was not invited by Giselle. Which is crazy to me because now we see Giselle kind of like is looking shady. But just last season, you was trying to be all up Kiana's ass, trying to be her bestie or whatever, just because you knew that she was basically a friend of to Wendy and Candace, and you was beefing with Wendy and Candace. But now it's kind of looking like you trying to shade Kiana. So I thought that was weird. I mean, I knew that's what Giselle was gonna do though, because that's what she does. She switches up to make it convenient for herself. So Kiana's in her confessional. She's like, the last GNA event that I went to didn't work out so well. That's the event where she fought Ashley's little, what Candy's called her? Ashley's little Sesame Street friend. I don't even remember her name. She did all that, thought she was going to get on the show. No. And look who got the peach. Look who got the flute. Kiana did. But yes, Kiana's like, last time I went to a GNA event, look what happened. So I'm not looking forward to going to this GNA event. So, basically, if she was to get an invitation, she probably wouldn't attend anyway. So Karen is like, she's telling Kiana, I feel like this was less of a birthday party and more of an inquisition party because everybody wanted to be in my business and know this and know that. I don't think they wanted to be in your business, Karen. I just feel like they wanted to know what's going on with you and what's going on with the situation. I get it because of the platform and the situation and the way it was set up. It would seem that way. And who set it up, Ashley, Giselle, So I get how she feels, but at the same time, like, they just want to know some stuff. Like, they don't know anything. And you talking about go read the papers or whatever. Do you really want your friends going off what they saying online and then blogs and stuff? Because blogs don't always be telling the truth. So then we get this scene where Ashley goes to see Stacey. They go for like a little hike or whatever the case. And they start talking about, Stacey's asking Ashley, like, what's your nationality? And, Ashley's like, well, I'm biracial, but I identify as a black woman. And Stacey's like, well, what about your children? And Ashley's like, well, that's kind of hard because, they don't, what'd she say? I wrote it down. She says, her sons don't have the right exposure to people of color besides her family. So it's kind of hard it's kind of hard to pinpoint how they identify at this young age, basically. And, Stacey kind of relates to that because of the fact that her daughter, all her family, all of Stacey's family is in Detroit, and she grew up around her black side. But, her daughter her daughter's not growing up around black women, and it kind of makes her feel a certain way. She's like, she says how her daughter is proud to be half German or whatever the case may be, and she wants her daughter to be just as proud to be black. So this is when Stacey mentions to Ashley that she's been seeing somebody for a few months, but he's a devout Christian who doesn't want to have sex until marriage. And, Ashley got so much to say in her confessional, like, you ain't had no other dick besides 10 months. It couldn't be me. It's just like, yeah, we know it couldn't be you, bitch. We know it couldn't be you. Everybody ain't like you, Ashley. Stacey seems like a sweet woman. I feel like that scene with her and her daughter and the nanny in the kitchen, I feel like that was forced. But, we trying to get to know her as a new cast member, so I get it. But it's just like, why couldn't we get the scene with Kiana in the first episode or this episode, whatever? And, Stacey shares how she met the guy. She met him through QVC when she was working there. He was auditioning or whatever the case may be. And Ashley's like, well, what do you guys do if you don't have sex? Like, why has it got to be all about sex? Like, you could do other things. And Stacey's like, well, we go to church, we work out, and things like that. I was just like, Ashley just... So Karen goes to see Giselle. Giselle is immediately messy, talking about, who dropped you off? Was it Uber? Was it Ray? I'm just like, bruh, I can't stand Giselle, but sometimes shit be funny. I'm just like, she just so shady. And Karen's like, well, I had a driver. If Beyonce can have one, I can have one. And then, Giselle's like, well, you had a driver with blue eyes. I'm just like, can we go one season without bringing up blue eyes? Like, come on. That storyline is just so dragged along. So, excuse me. They begin to talk about Karen's Hatitude party. Karen, expresses to Giselle, I feel like it was an inquisition party. Everybody was all in my business. And she's like, you saying that non-alcoholic beverage. I feel like that was very messy of you, Giselle. And, Karen's in her confessional, like, I would be hurt if Giselle wasn't messy. So it's like, remember you said that, Karen. Because that's Giselle's true nature. So it's more messiness is going to come. So remember you said you'd be upset if Giselle wasn't messy. I was like, Karen, why would you say that? So Giselle's like, well, I don't think that was me being messy. I just think that was me, giving options. And Karen's like, well, they could read the menu. And then Karen brings up Giselle giving Wendy the bucket hat, which leads to Giselle telling Karen about her lunch with Wendy. He's talking about, like, how it went well and how I told her that the way she can belittle people when she's mad. It's just like, even her explaining how the lunch went makes it seem like Wendy was in the wrong and Wendy was the one that was supposed to apologize. Mind you, Giselle, you didn't apologize at all in this lunch. And then the way you explained it to Karen, you making it seem like Wendy was the one that was supposed to be apologizing and was the one that was in the wrong for the whole situation. Like, you take no accountability. It's just so annoying. It's so annoying at this point. So then Giselle tells Karen, oh, Jacqueline, have you talked to Jacqueline? Because she has some questions for you about the whole situation. And Karen's like, oh no, what she say she doing with Jacqueline? She said Jacqueline's in timeout because Jacqueline's at the party talking about we just gonna wait to see what the courts say or wait for a verdict or something of that nature. She said Jacqueline said. So then Karen brings up the fact that Giselle did not invite Kierna to her birthday party. And Giselle gonna have the nerve to goddamn talk about something. Well, I can only invite a certain amount of people to the party. And I was just like, really, Giselle? Y'all couldn't have fit one more chair at that table? And then Kierna is an actual friend of Karen. And an actual cast member. But was not invited. But then y'all invite somebody named y'all invite Jazzy. No offense to Jazzy, but y'all invite Jazzy, who Karen doesn't even know, and is a friend of the show. But not Kierna. Like, that made no sense to me. And for it to be the season premiere, we should have had the entire cast, not Kierna being pushed aside. Like, I was just like, Giselle, you're full of shit. Like, that was a full of shit ass answer. She's like, it was no shade, so I'll make sure I invite Kierna to the GNA event. Kierna probably not gonna come to that shit anyway, which she didn't. So Giselle tells Karen more about her GNA event. She's partnering with the National Brain Tumor Society because of the fact that she lost her father to a brain tumor months ago. And Karen's like, well, I'll be there, but earlier that day I'm getting awarded I'm getting the Femme Powered Award at the Femme Power Awards or whatever the award show may be earlier that day. So then they show the flyer, and the flyer says 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Clearly, basically letting us know Karen is not going to be able to make the GNA event like she's saying she will. And then Giselle's in her confessional. She's like, I got invited to that event, and Karen wasn't nowhere on the roster, so I wouldn't put it past Karen to have paid to be honored, because that's what Karen does. Like, why is she always hating on Karen? It's always something she got to say about Karen. Like, why do you think Karen had to pay to get honored for something? Like, what? So 6 a.m. the next morning, Karen sends out a group text to all the ladies saying that the Femme Power Awards and the GNA event are at the same time, but there will be transportation to take the ladies from either or event or whatever the case may be. And Giselle, she expresses her frustrations in her confessional, and then we see Giselle send a text message back saying, "Oh, no worries, all you ladies go to Karen's event. Just go to Karen's event." Basically, sourpuss. So it's the day of the two events. Before Giselle and Ashley's event starts, Giselle is introduced to the founders of the National Brain Tumor Society. Ashley comes in, and Giselle, she tells Ashley, "I don't even want any of the ladies to come if they feel like they got to pick and choose," or whatever the case may be. And her and Ashley feel like Karen's intent they feel like her actions were intentional. Because we knew about the GNA event beforehand. So all the ladies, they meet up to head to Karen's event. Vivian and Jacqueline arrived to the GNA event. Apparently Jacqueline's not in that group text, so she was going to the GNA event anyway. And Vivian had already RSVP'd for the GNA event, so they're there. With bows and strings on, whatever the saying is. They're there on time or whatever. So in the Sprinter van on the way to Karen's event, the ladies are definitely discussing the text message that Karen and Giselle sent. And it's mixed views about how they feel about the text messages. So the ladies, they FaceTime Ashley. They tell her, we're going to be there. We're going to try to get there around 8 or 8:30ish. And Ashley's like, well, the event is over at 9, so... And she's like, well, if you guys aren't there by 8, then... She doesn't say it out her mouth, but she's like, she just mutters some shit. So, Wendy and Kiana in the Sprinter, they both agree, like, well, I'm going to support Karen regardless. Like, because, Kiana is already triggered by the GNA events, and Wendy just got cool with Giselle. So if this was the day before the lunch, Wendy wouldn't be going to Giselle's event anyway, So they like, well, we got to split up, and that's what we just going to have to do, because my main focus is Karen. This is what Kiana and Wendy are saying. So Ashley goes to Giselle, tells her, Jassy and Mia and Stacy, they said they'll be here by 8. Well, Jassy and Mia just called. They said they'll be here by 8:30. And I told them that they should be here by 8. And Giselle's like, well, they should just not come, because that's just so fucking rude. It's not just rude, it's fucking rude. And I was just like, I'm here for Giselle being upset. I don't care. I can't stand Giselle, so turmoil, I like it. Meet Giselle, I like it. So Giselle, messy ass, still has to be messy. Sits down, tells Jacqueline, Karen had a fit. Like, she was upset. Like, she put sauce on everything. Karen was upset that you said something about, well, we gonna wait till the court see, or we gonna wait till see what the verdict, or whatever the case may be. And I was just like, she did not say all that. All she said was, oh, Jacqueline's in timeout because I don't like the comments she made at the Hatitude dinner. But Giselle was like, oh no, she said she is upset with you. I was just like, Giselle, this is why I'm not mad that they're not coming to your little shitty ass event. I mean, I get it for a good cause, but you are just a nasty person. So the ladies arrive at Karen's event at 7:10. And they tell Karen that Ashley basically said, I mean, she didn't say those words, but she's like, well, Ashley said if we don't get there by 8, then we won't be allowed in. Karen's in her confessional like, I can't help that the ladies like me more than you, Giselle. I just can't help it. And I was like, hey, it's the Grand Dame, baby. But, so Stacey, Mia, and Jazzy, they leave. And Wendy and Kierna are like, well, I'm staying behind. You know, Kierna's in confessional like, another GNA triggering event. No, ma'am. And Wendy's like, well, why would I leave? And I didn't get to see Karen get the award that she's getting awarded for. So so Wendy and Kierna stay behind while Jazzy, Stacey, and Mia leave to head to the GNA event. So back at the GNA event, Ashley and Giselle are making a speech about what the event represents and their collaboration with the National Brain Tumor Society, trying to get people to donate to the cause or whatever the case may be. So Mia, Stacey, and Jazzy, they get there. They get to the GNA event at 8:02. They walking in that bitch 8:03, whatever. Giselle's immediately like, oh, no, security. Nah, y'all gotta leave. And I'm just like, they came to support. Whether it be an hour, 30 minutes, whatever, they came to support your event and you kicked them out. That's why I was like, they should have just stayed at Karen's event. Like Wendy said something in her confessional, and she was like, I would have just sent my regret text messages and whatever the case may be. Because it was just so tacky. And then, Jazzy and Stacey are new. So it's just like, this is their first impressions of you, and you kicking them out your event because they came an hour before it was over. It's not like they came at 8:30. They came at 8 o'clock like Ashley told them to. Like, black people CPT sometimes is not 8:02. What's 8:02? Nothing. But I was just laughing because I was like, this is Giselle having another damn fit. And I was just like, I don't care. I'm glad Giselle having a fit. Like, boo you, boo Giselle, we don't care. But that's how the episode ended, and I just thought it was so hilarious. Like I said, I would still put it in between like a B- and a C+. It wasn't great, but it was funny to see Giselle have a little tiffy about it, being a little tizzy. But yeah, like I said, a B-, C+. Predictions for next week's episode. I just want to see how Mia and Jazzy and Stacey gonna play it. Is she gonna actually kick them out, or is they gonna be able to stay? But this is Jazzy and Stacey's first impression of Giselle, so I wouldn't be surprised if they felt the way about Giselle doing what she's doing. I get it. It's for a good cause, whatever the case may be, and Karen's invitation was a day before, and she had been invited y'all to the GNA event, whatever the case may be. But it's just like, if you want to be a friend to both, that's what they was trying to do, be a friend to both, and you just spit in their face by trying to kick them out of the event. So I don't know how I feel about that. But Giselle's just a nasty person. Karen's more likable. I don't really have no predictions or whatever the case. We're just going to wait to see. It's only episode 2, so just have to wait to see what's going to happen next episode. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing Giselle mad. I don't care. But those are my thoughts or whatevers. You leave your thoughts or whatevers or your grades or whatever the case may be. Leave those in the comments. If it's something I should have talked about that I didn't, let me know in the comments. And like and subscribe to the channel. Help me get to over 300 subscribers, which isn't even a lot because I need like 300 million. But help my channel grow by helping me get to 300 subscribers. That's how you help me. That's how you help my channel grow. That's how you help support it. It's free. It's a simple way. It takes 5 seconds out your time. All that good stuff. Like, subscribe, comment below. Thanks for watching this review, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.